All right. So, I have to redo this video because I got a, I didn't get a copyright strike, but I got a, I don't know, the video was like blocked or whatever because whoever owns Joe Rogan's podcast, they like immediately sent out, like copyright claims or whatever. So, here's me trying to do this again, and the screen probably looks all weird. It's like moving all crazy. So, I'm trying to find some kind of way so I can post this. I've seen other people doing it, but like talking about this and reacting to it, but their videos they were able to post right away. So I'm not trying to like monetize this or anything. I just want to talk about it. So, anyways, Dave Smith and Douglas Murray went on Joe Rogan's podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, and they were supposed to debate, but so it's literally the first 40 fucking minutes is Douglas Murray basically saying like, well, if you're not an expert on this, why are you even talking about it? That's basically all he did for like 40 minutes, which is it was hard to listen to. I mean, it was like, what the I had to stop. I was like, what the fuck? What am I listening to? I had to look at the time and I still had like 3 fucking hours left. So, I mean, it's a pretty good episode. There were some good things in it, but just getting past that first 40 minutes was fucking difficult, dude. I mean, this dude, first of all, he's British, right? So he's British and he's gay. And I know that you would think, like, with the accent, you'd be like, oh, is this guy gay? I don't know what's going on. No, he's British, but he's also gay. So that could just be, that's attributing to the sassiness, being British and gay. And not to disparage the gay community at all. Gay people are cool. But, they could be sassy as fuck. So, this dude's being a total fucking queen. And he's all, he's so posh. The way he talks, Oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, he's just a fucking cunt, dude, the whole time. So, I'm going to try and play these videos. Hopefully, this doesn't get it. I don't care about monetization. I just want to react to it and put it out there. So, let me play some vids. Kind of give you guys like a little recap here. And the screen's all moving and shit, so and I bumped up the playback speed too, so it's kind of sped up. So here we go.
Can I ask you something? Yes, sir. Since the war in Israel began, and since the war in Ukraine began, you've had quite a lot of people.
That's a little too fast. Oops. What am I doing? Playback speed. I think this one's actually already sped up. So let's see if this works.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Since the war in Israel began, and since the war in Ukraine began, you've had quite a lot of people who are very against both in different ways.
Yes.
Do you think you've had enough people on who are supportive of either war?
I don't know that word enough, if that's a good word.
So
Let's say
what he's doing,
enough people who are on the side of Israel instead of wild critics.
He's just like, I don't think you've had enough people that are pro Israel or Ukraine or whatever. And this guy is both pro-Israel and Ukraine. And Joe Rogan has, in this guy's opinion, had too many people. It's too disproportionate. So it's like he thinks he's platforming more people. But it's like, first of all, it's his fucking show. He can do whatever the hell he wants. But also, it's like, at what point is it enough people for you? I mean, does that to be perfectly balanced? Or would you prefer it if it was more? And Dave Smith pointed out too, because I listened to like his after podcast of this whole thing, and he was basically saying that so this guy agrees with like Trump and shit, but he wouldn't complain about that because Joe Rogan had more pro-Trump people on in like the last year, the last year or whatever, but only if he agrees with it is he going to like not complain, So if he's in disagreement, then he's got something to say.
Well, I've had a few. I mean, I believe God Sad is on the side of Israel.
For sure.
Jordan is on the side of Israel.
Mike Baker, Coleman Hughes.
Yeah.
Coleman did it for like 20 minutes, so it wasn't why he was here.
No, I mean, none of them is why they're here. It's a good question.
Do you think you've tilted one way?
See, he's just like, you could tell he's just so condescending, dude, the whole time. I mean, it was driving me crazy. This guy would be, you could tell that he thinks he's like a level above people because I mean, yeah, he's accomplished. He's written books and shit. He's, you know, he makes money off doing this shit, but you could tell that he has like a superiority complex when it comes to dealing with probably a lot of people. I mean, he's narcissistic. Now you have to be a little narcissistic to get like big success and shit. You have to have somewhat of that characteristic. But he just thinks that he's just hot shit, and he thinks he's so more versed on it than you. Like, there's nothing that you could say that could counter what he's saying.
The guess, yeah, probably more tilted towards the idea that perhaps the way they've done it is barbaric.
Mm-hmm. But why do you think that is? Just out of interest. I'm just interested in your selection of guests because you're like the world's number one podcast.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think about it that way.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, I don't think of it like that. I just have people on. I just want to talk to people. I'm not just like, oh, let me get on, you know, 10 Bernie supporters and 3 Kamala and, you know, 8 Trump. And it's just like, dude, they just come on. He just thinks they're interesting. I mean, he said that I've been listening to Joe Rogan for probably 10 years or so. And he's even said that, like, I just want to talk to whoever I think's interesting. That's it. I mean, there's no, like, I have to do this and that and whatever. It's just not like that. Kitty, I got my cat here. Check him out, dude. Teddy, say hi. Say hi to the camera. Yeah. So he's just, I don't know. This guy's a cunt.
I'd like to talk to this person.
But can I just...
Yeah,
sorry, it's your show, but
sure.
If you're going to interview historians of the conflict, or historians in general, why would you get somebody like Ian Carroll? Or
Yeah, but Ian Carroll, I didn't bring him on for that purpose. I brought him on because I want to find out, like, how does one get involved in the whole conspiracy theory business?
He's just like, why are you going to talk about historians or whatever and then bring on Ian Carroll? It's like, Ian Carroll's not a historian. The guy is more into, like, conspiracy theories and shit that there are some historical elements to them, just like any conspiracy theory, but this isn't just, you know...
Because his whole thing is just conspiracies,
Sure.
You know?
But do you have any... I mean, there's been a tilt in the conversation, both conversations.
Look at his smirk, dude. He's so fucking smarmy.
With people
He's
who
just
have
a
appointed themselves
cunt,
experts,
dude.
who are not experts.
You mean like Ian? I don't think he appoints himself an expert in anything.
Who's that other dude who thinks he's an expert on Churchill?
Oh, Daryl Cooper does not think...
This is his whole
I
thing.
think
Like,
everybody else is always calling him an expert, and he's like, I'm just a history.
Have you ever...
his whole thing is like, during the whole podcast, his whole thing is just like, he's not an expert. So why are you platforming them? They're not an expert. It's like, dude, what would make you an expert? Do you have to study in that? Like, does it have to be your field of study to be an expert on it? He has like a bachelor's degree. He has a bachelor's in English. So like, what makes him an expert on geopolitics then? It doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
Ever absorbed any of his material? You ever consumed any of his podcasts or anything like that?
I tried.
Yeah?
It's pretty hard to listen to somebody who says, I don't know what I'm talking about, but now I'm going to talk. Or I don't know about this. Or I'm not capable of debating this historian, but I'm going to just tell you what I think.
Yeah, but that's not exactly what Daryl was saying. I mean, Daryl's point of view, however you feel about this, what Daryl's saying is
he's also never consumed any of his stuff.
Format stuff where he can really explain his position.
If you throw a lot of shit out there, there's some point at which I'm just raising questions. It's
it
not a valid
sticks.
thing. You're not raising questions. You're not asking questions. You're telling people something.
Do you think Daryl's doing that?
I think there's a whole bunch of guys doing that.
I
think Dave is doing that, very obviously. Dave's a comedian, but he's now mainly talking about Israel.
He's such a cunt, dude. God. But here's where Dave really got him.
Hold on. You got to stop interrupting and let him finish the sentence.
So the tragedy that's been inflicted on
Dave
Gaza
got his ass
is
on
orders
this.
of magnitudes greater than October 7th. Even if you had the right, let's say, somebody broke onto your property and killed some of your family members and you want to go kill this guy. If he goes back to his apartment building and you know that there's women and children in that apartment building, and so your move is to blow up the building, what you would be charged with is murder in the first degree. cold-blooded, premeditated, intentional murder. And you could sit there and tell the judge, I didn't want to kill all those people.
No.
Why would I want to kill all of those people? I just had to kill that one guy. But that's not what counts. You did it intentionally. You dropped a bomb knowing that there were women and children in that building. That is intentionally murdering innocent people. And if you're going to advocate for this war, so why can't you just say, yes, that price is acceptable? Because then we could have a real conversation about why the other side is going to look at you like a monster.
Yeah, that's exactly the whole thing about this whole Israel conflict. And the guy didn't really like debate him that hard on it. I mean, he's just pro-Israel no matter what, because all of the Middle East are monsters. Now, I have my opinions on Muslims in the Middle East, and I think it's definitely a difficult thing to navigate. But for one, I don't give a shit about the Middle East. I don't want to be there. I'm not there, but that's the dude points that out in the podcast. He's like, you've never even been there. You say we or whatever, and Dave Smith had to be like, what do you mean? I'm just not going to say like every fucking conversation by saying, I don't mean actually me being there, but it's the government. But it's like still our money that's going over there. And we have family members and friends and stuff that get deployed for these fucking stupid wars. And then they escalate into something bad. And then it's just all fucked up. So, sorry, I got flustered there for a minute. I don't know what. I'm trying to think of everything. I'm a retard right now. I'm tired, Jay. I got up at fucking 4 o'clock this morning, so, and it's now 9:45.
If you throw a lot of shit out there,
Oh yeah, we just.
there's some
that.
point at
Let's see what he says here.
not there at all.
I've never been.
You've never been.
You've never been.
Am I not allowed to talk about it now? I've never been to. Have you ever been to Nazi Germany? Are you allowed to have feelings about them?
You can't time travel, but you
Well,
can.
right.
But you can travel.
Okay,
You
but
can't-
so what?
you
So what's
can't
the point?
time
No,
travel.
I find that
Lots
very.
of people have been.
Imagine
there and
if he
agree with
was,
me, and lots of people have been there and agree with you.
Yeah,
so
but
I
if
don't
you're
know
going to
what the-
spend a year and a half talking,
Imagine if he had like a Scouse accent and he was trying to debate. I would much prefer to listen to this podcast if he had a Scouse accent. Because then you just couldn't even understand what he's saying half the time. So then we'd be like, oh, whatever, he's just being silly. Wish he was a Scouser. He was like, what are you fucking talking about, lad?
about a place, you should.
You
at
know
least
nothing
be
about a
prepared
fucking
to-
fart.
all right. I just think this is a non-argument.
You don't
but
think?
Okay.
Patty Pimblett?
No, I think it's a non-argument.
But if you're an expert,
Well, you have to go and touch the ground. To
no,
be
I
able
think
to
you
talk
have to
about
see. I think it's a good idea to see stuff, particularly if you
okay.
spend a career talking about something. Yes, I have a journalistic rule of trying never to talk about a country even in passing unless I've at least been there.
Okay.
Bean.
It's
But that's
sort of
not-
normal.
Been
It's a
there.
normal
It's just
thing
so
to do.
posh
You're talking
and
about
gay.
Hang on, you're talking about crossing points, and not only have you never been to a crossing point in either Egypt or in Israel, but you've never even been to the region.
Who gives a
Again,
fuck?
this is a non-argument. I don't
no,
understand.
No, it's not a non-argument.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a non-argument. If you're insisting that you're an expert
This is-
of some kind, or not claiming you're an expert, but still talking about it, about the provisions going into Gaza or not.
This is what he did the whole fucking episode. Well, like the first 40 minutes. Like, seriously. Let's say for sure. And then. But seriously, like the whole time he was just like, you're not an expert, so you can't talk to this. You've never even been there, so how can you have an opinion on it? He's just so like he's just so baffled by the idea that people can have an opinion on something even though they never experienced it. But like we're in 2025, there's so much technology. They live streamed October 7th. You could watch them killing people and seeing like horrible shit happening. And then on the other side of that, you could see them bombing a city. I just watched a video the other day. I think I mentioned this on the podcast. I watched a video the other day where they dropped a fucking bomb. Israel did. And you can see bodies fly up. Like, you need to... These people that are so pro-war and shit, they need to watch war footage. And watch a lot of it. Because the more you watch, it's so fucked up, dude. And, like, when you read comments from people that are, like, cheering this shit on, you're going to realize real quick that this shit is just not worth it. These people are dying. Like, it's actual human lives that are ending. And in horrible, horrific ways. I mean, you know, we create all this shit to rip people apart and shit. So, it's just
If
fucked
you've
up,
never
dude.
seen any of this going on.
So you're not
That's
allowed to
amazing
speak
to
about
me.
things that you've read about. You can only speak about things that you've seen with your own eyes.
You can talk about what you want, as you're proving. But that is a different matter from spending an awfully long amount of time talking about an
Ooh,
issue
man, I'm thirsty.
in a region you haven't even had the courtesy to visit, whilst developing all of these views about it. I mean, now I slightly get an idea of where you're coming from. You've read about this.
It's funny, they're like basically teetering on like calling Dave Smith an anti-Semite when like he himself, he's Jewish. It's insane. Like, it's just so fucking ass backwards. Like, I think he has the correct stance on war and shit. War's bad. War is not good. The only people that war is good for is the people that are in charge. The people that are in charge, and all the military industrial complex, like all the companies and shit. That's who's in charge of this, and that's who profits the most. And I don't know, man. It's just so fucked. It's a bad thing, but that's basically all the video. I mean, this guy, you should go watch it or listen to it or whatever. It's a decent debate, but you could just see, like, this guy is the woke right. If you bring up anything, like, there's another part of the episode where they bring up, what was his name? Is one of the generals. So it was that thing that I talked about in the video where this general, he's a 4-star general, and he talked about how there was war plans to go to war with 7 countries in 5 years or something like that. And all the countries we've been to war with all of them except for Iran. And we're getting ready to go to war with them. So he mentions that, and then one of the dudes in the cabinet, Wolfowitz, at the time that was working for Donald Rumsfeld, he was like the deputy secretary of defense or something like that. But he, because his name is Jewish, he was the one that passed this information along, I guess, to the general. And this guy, his argument is, well, see, you're gonna open up anti-Semitism because you mentioned his name, basically. So it's like, that's just not an argument. That's not how you debate it. Like, it's so fucking stupid, dude. I mean, really, you gotta fucking watch this whole thing. It's absolutely fucking...
Which I'm just...
It's annoying, because this guy is such a cunt. You're just like, oh my god. I think this is it right
You've
here.
never even been to the region.
Nope, that's not it.
Okay. Again, I
How
think this is...
can
Hold on. You
Jesus,
got to stop interrupting.
To 2005 had not from the get-go decided to use Gaza as a stockpiling place.
That's not it. Maybe it's this
Policy in the last 40 years to Paul Wolfowitz and Dick Pearl is
is it right
knowingly
here.
or otherwise to encourage a conspiracy that has very obvious legs. And I just urge you not to do it.
Okay, let me respond to this a little bit. First of all, it is not at all saying that these guys therefore just control everything. I'm just pointing out what a 4-star general claimed, where plans originated, and that they ended up being implemented. That doesn't mean that they were the absolute ruler or arbiter of what was going to happen. But again, I got to say, for you to say that I can't bring up the neoconservative...
I never said you couldn't. I
Okay,
just laughed.
let me just... Right, but the implication is that I'm unwittingly giving fertile ground to some, like, Jew-hating conspiracy if I bring up a guy who's got a Jewish last name who was a consequential person in our government. This is, like, identical to the arguments of the woke left. That would just be like, oh, if you even say something... if you bring up the crime rate in Chicago, you're basically a bigot because other people could take this and run with it.
Come on.
No, you come on. What?
That's exactly what it is, dude. It's fucking... It's the woke right. This is the part of the conservatives that's the most toxic. That's going to really, like, fracture the base and everything. You can't criticize certain things on each side. Like, on the left, it's more things. You can't criticize, like, a lot of shit, and then you're going to be labeled as, like, a Nazi or fascist or whatever their buzzword is. But with the right, if you criticize anything about Israel, automatically you're an anti-Semite or you're conspiracy, this and that. And it's like, it's so fucking tired and played out. People are just fed up with it. I mean, there's a lot more people. There definitely is a lot more anti-Semitism ramping up, but they keep doing things that, and not the Jews, but people like protecting them are doing things to make it worse. Like, they're trying, I think they basically made like, you basically can't criticize Israel, especially if you're here on a visa. They're going to revoke your fucking visa. Now, some people are protesting in support of Hamas, which, you know, get them the fuck out of here. But at the same time, if you're just waving another country's flag or terrorist organization or whatever, like, get the fuck out, dude. You're done. Get out of the country. And that goes for these senators that have senators and congresspeople and shit that have like dual citizenship with like other countries. Israel's a big one. I just don't think they should be able to hold office, or they should only have citizenship here. Like your allegiance to serve the American, your allegiance should be to America. Not, you know, you can't have dual allegiance. That just to further our society in America. You know, to further it, I think you need to be all on board. You know, you need to be all in here, not just shilling or doing stuff that benefits another government. But yeah, that's the video. Hopefully this one I'm able to upload it. Sorry it looks kind of fucked up. I'll have to figure out how to react to Joe Rogan podcast. I had a pretty good episode, but it got all fucked up because, I don't know, they wouldn't let me upload it because they're fuckers. So yeah, just comment, like, subscribe. We'd like to start a discussion, hear from you guys, and be on the lookout for new episodes of the podcast this weekend. So every Saturday and Sunday, we'll have new episodes. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Peace.